last time we left off was power session 5, right?
Yeah.
Four, we left off with 4, and we're moving on to 5, which is METs. So what did I miss in the last 2 weeks? So yeah, I learned a ton at Mega Camp that I'm going to share with you guys that I think would be really, really advantageous for you. There was literally after panel of agents doing different types of lead generation. So I have always one sheet, each of those agents on those panels, whether it be farming or database or referrals or events or seminars, each one of those agents created a one sheet of what they do in that one little piece. And so it's a step by step, you know, of how one person door knocks, how another person, has buyer seminars, everything in that. They break it all down for you. So I'm going to, I've downloaded them all the one sheets. Now I'm going to put them into little sections, and then I'm going to put it on the Google Drive. But I'm also going to, that's where the suggestion of Rob, I'm also, Rob Marin, I'm also going to put them in like maybe one at a time in the daily update. So, the idea is that you're not doing all of them. The idea is that you're doing the ones that are closest to your highest and best use, right? So today we're going to talk about METs. And as we get into that, we will I don't know. Hand do this. How do I? Oh, let me get that moving forward. How do I get the slides? Work manually.
You might have to fix the settings. Could I?
Sure.
Try?
Please. Say it.
So we're gonna probably match, because right now it's not synced.
Oh, you mean mirror this and that?
This. I'm gonna see if
Go
I
ahead.
can do that.
So.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
This one you want?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first question is, who are METs, right? Crazy. All right, who are your METs? Right? Your METs database is of little use to you unless you are staying in touch with it on a regular basis. Mailing, calling, visiting, and always reminding them that you are a real estate agent who works by referrals. National Association of Realtors in 2006 statistics tell us that buyers and sellers do not speak to many agents before selecting one to work with. In fact, 87% interview just 1 or 2 agents before selecting one. At this critical moment of decision, it is crucial that you have already established top of mind status. How will you do this consistently? How will you do this? Consistency and systematic approach are the keys to effective effectively reminding your database that you are a real estate agent before they hit day 16. Before they hit day 16, and you start to fade from their real estate agent before they hit day 16, and you start to fade from their memory. Your 8x8 and your 33 touch marketing action plans are the tools that you will use to get people. So the concept is that, you know, the information or any impact that you make today will fade within 16 days. And that's why they have a 33 touch program, so that every 10 days, you're present in people's lives. What I hear from a lot of the new agents is, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to spam them. I don't want my clients will be repelled by this, right? So, they're not your clients until they actually do some business with you, number one. And if you're not top of mind to them, then someone else will be, right? The person that's annoying them is the person that will be noticed in this particular equation. There's a way to do it where your voice is existent in that communication, where it's not what you can do for me, but what you can do for them, right? You're providing information, you're providing education, you're providing support and assistance in any way you can. That's your perspective. That's where you are coming from as a service provider. If they don't need it today, if it's not germane to the conversation that they're in today, that's okay, right? It may be in 10 days, it may be in 20 days, and it may not be for another 2 years, but when that time comes, you want to be the person they think of, right? And to do that, you have to systematically stay connected to people. And your Mets are the people who know you and who you know, and they know what you do, right? You're able to have a two-way conversation with them. So one is, here's your Mets, right, in this bucket here, right? Right, and you have a system of communication with them. Oh, this little speaker, blah, 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 like that, right? You have a system of communication with them, and that is emails, calls, text, events, mailers, etc. Whatever. I don't care what it is, right? But that's how you communicate. That's your plan for communicating with the people you know when you know you, right? So that's number one. What's your plan for communication in a systematic way? The command gives you smart plans, and in those smart plans, you can take someone else's smart plan and plug and play and go with it, or you can create your own. It's about and the smart plan is day one, right? Skip 1 week. Day 2. 3 days. Day 3, and so on and so forth, right? It's what next, what next, what next. And you wake up every morning and you have your people, you know what you have to do. You have to email this person, you have to call that person, you have to text that person, right? The emails can go out automatically, the text can go out automatically, and so on and so forth. The mailers can be done in a bulk setting. So it's these layers of connection that validate you as a business provider. It's not you calling, asking someone you know for business. It's you establishing yourself as a business, as a service, right? You're not going to force anybody to buy or sell real estate. Who doesn't want to buy or sell real estate already, right? It's your goal to be there when they have that need. So once you set up how you communicate with your Mets, right? And that systematic way, it's like, then it's like, your job is to get more people into your Mets, right? And how do you do that? And so your second plan, which we'll talk about, is lead generating, is getting, what am I doing to meet people at the non-Mets, right? Or non-Mets, right, is what I think they call them. Into your Mets bucket and on this plan. So you have a plan to get them into you, so you can communicate with them and be of value to them, right? And then that moves, down into appointments. And appointments lead to contracts, right? And contracts lead to what? Closings. And closings lead to a payday. Okay, it's not brain science. Okay, this is the pay. So today we're talking about Mets and how to really be of value to our Mets and who are they and what can we do, right? So here we go. Who are Mets on page 9, I guess that's what it is. Bank, book, exercise. Oh. What will make this a great training experience? No, blah, blah, blah. Who are Mets? Oh, how did I do that? Did I lose my who are Mets? Who isn't? Well, who are Mets? The question really is, who isn't a Met, really? So, who is a Met? Let me hear you guys say it.
Someone who you've met.
Okay. Mets are those you've met today? Sure. Who else?
Two-way conversation.
Yep. Mets are those you've known all your life. Collect your contact information, feed your database. So this is the nucleus of your database. Mets are the nucleus of your database. They're what will give you the most return on your investment. Okay? When you're talking about prospecting, you're prospecting these people, right? You're not prospecting the ether, right? You're prospecting people you know and people you've met, right? If they're a new friend, if they're an old friend, if they're family, if they're a work associate, it doesn't matter, okay? That's who we're prospecting, okay? We're marketing to, prospecting and marketing, but prospecting is what gets you the real response, right? The difference between prospecting and marketing, you could tell me, marketing is one way. One way. Throw information out there in the universe, you wait for a response. Prospecting is two-way. Okay, you say, hey Aaron, how are you today? How can I help? Right? Over and over again. Just change the name appropriately, of course. So here we go. Unless a person is a complete stranger to you and classifies themselves as a haven't met, they are a Met. Anyone with whom you've had personal contact by phone or in person and whose contact information you've collected and fed into your database. Remember, the moment you make personal contact in person or by phone or text or or by video, right? A haven't met becomes a Met. That's why they are called Mets instead of friends. Past customers or even knowns, they could be, right? The goal is to turn them into people you know, into friends, and eventually into past customers. Everyone counts, everyone matters. That is the truth. So in that Met bucket, there's some nuances too that probably I don't think they address in here, but I will address really quickly. And in that Met bucket, there are the people who you have met, right? That's that top derma, right? They know you. You have their contact information. You're able to talk with them, but you haven't created a valued relationship with them, right? So I said this top derma is still non-valued relationship. What do we think we mean by that?
You haven't demonstrated your value to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because once you demonstrate your value to somebody, you're connected to them, right? Whether it be in the real estate realm or outside the real estate, right? And so that is that next level. Orange. That is orange. That is the next level of relationship. And this is sort of little sliver here, right? Because that is where you demonstrate. Demonstrate value. Right? You've demonstrated value. You find out, Aaron, what are you trying to accomplish? Hey, I know somebody who might be able to do that for you. I have a resource that could be of assistance to you. I can be of assistance to you. Have you ever tried this? Right? Or, hey, you know, this, I just read an article about this, and I thought it would be good for what you're trying to accomplish. Right? These are all ways to demonstrate value to people, right? And once you do that, you move them into this higher level of relationship, and it's, you know, where you demonstrated value. And there's a higher bond in this, right? And that moves on to the rest of it. Maybe a portion, there's no third piece of that. But this has to happen for you to get to appointments, contacts, and closings, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Your Mets consist of, your Mets are those who done the, all right, so know your Mets. The next page is organize your Mets into different categories below. When you first meet or establish contact with someone and enter their name and information into your database, you want to make sure you properly label them. This will help you purposefully build relationships and create specific targeted action plans. So here goes 4 areas that they've identified: network group, allied resources, advocates, and core advocates, all right? The exercise is to look at these, and this is to help you build your Mets database, right? You say, okay, grab a pen, good, pull out a pen, and I'll ask the question, and you just write down the first 3 to 5 people that you know, right? Just write their names down, even if you don't know their last name. You know, you can say my plumber or my dentist or whatever it is, right? But here, individuals network group, number 1 is individuals who you know because you have met them either in person or by phone, and they might do business with you in a networking group or through a networking, a friend of a friend, this and that. All right, the next one is allied resources. They're definitely defined as a very select subset of your Met group who are in real estate related fields, title, escrow, or some other inspector, so on and so forth. Individuals you expect either to do business with or to receive business leads from either every year, usually multiple times. Will I or has done business with you? Will do or has done business with you, right? These are people who you might know in adjacent in adjacent businesses. All right. Okay. Next is people who advocates, people who not only have done business with you in the past and will continue to do so in the future, but will actively bring other people to you to do business as well. Let's see how core advocate raises the bar. All right. Core advocates not only can and will do business with you, but they are well placed, owner of a sports team, executive at large corporation, a builder, etc., and will send you a steady stream of business. So you want to start looking at the people who are around you, who you do business with you, who you do business with, right? And you want to, I think I talked about in the past, I talked about the wedding list, exercise, which is, anybody who you would invite to your wedding should be in your database, right? Your fictitious wedding, your actual wedding, it doesn't matter. It's the concept of anyone who I care about enough to have at my wedding, or my parents care enough, or my relatives don't, when you're doing so, you don't filter for location or geography, ability to come, any of that. You just cast the widest net of people who are connected to you in some way. That's a great exercise to do. And then you gather their names, their information, everything you can about them, right? There's also the great 25 folks exercise, and that is you go inside, and I'd say the 25 folks are your core advocates, the people who really want to focus on getting business and getting your tendrils out there in the universe. That's a great one. And for those, you really have to go in deep and have very purposeful meetings with and give them tools to help you grow your business and be a core advocate for you. Cards and rewards and scripts even in that. Give them a path. Tell them exactly what you need them to do. There's also, I love, we talked a little bit about the white yellow pages concept, where you're not pulling people from the yellow pages, but you're using the categories, right? Starting with architects and going on to the cat groomers or I can't get dog groomers out of my head now, I've got to say. Electricians, plumbers. You just go through all of the categories and say, who do I know and who do I use in those categories? You start building out your core service or your allied resource categories and people that you get business and then you can ask for business from. This is a way to build all of your mess, and then in that you when you're putting them in there, I think an important note that they say right here, when you're putting them in your database, use that moment to build out their profile. And their profile is like, what tags am I going to put on them? Are these, they're big Lakers fans. I'll put a Lakers tag on them. They love their dog. Put a dog tag on them. I put, all the tags, hashtags you can put on them are great, because when you want to communicate with that subset in a more focused way, oh, I found a great article that would be great for the Lakers. The Lakers schedule came out for the fall. Boom. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna send that to all the people with my Lakers tag, right? I took my dog to this great groomer. I talked to the groomer's like, yeah, sure. Send it out to your database and I'll give them all a 10% discount with hashtag Moses code, right? It's right. All of those kind of intentional connections help you demonstrate value, okay, and move people into the next level. If you're always sending people what they want that they don't know, you're going to just move up in their consciousness and stay connected and at a higher level. And especially if you're like, oh, I tried that. It's really great. I love it. We move closer and closer and closer together, and we then have like a personal relationship. We have a shared experience, a shared memory, right? That's what we want to create.
And then sometimes they even ask you for help or a suggestion.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
You want to be the source of support for everyone that you know and who knows you. Yeah. Absolutely. So, or your Mets get involved with organizations. Who wants to read some of Grow Your Mets?
I'll read.
Go ahead.
Increasing the number of people in your database is an all-day, everyday activity. Here are some suggestions to get growing. Get involved, join organizations in your community, and volunteer your time. Attend.
Perfect. No, yeah.
Okay. Attend networking events in real estate or through your chamber of commerce. If you speak at a local Rotary or Lions Club or any subject, especially the current status of the real estate market, you will have the opportunity to be known by many people. Call all the newspapers within 50 miles of your home area and volunteer to supply any information they may need for stories and articles. Then get your
Never thought about it, right? You have to.
Then get your name in the paper and be quoted as an expert. Be approachable. Having your logo on your car, shirt, or will draw people to you. Feed everyone you meet through FISBOs, expired listings, open houses, floor time, geographic farming into your database. Get out there.
All right, so we're gonna have an exercise that I want completed by where I want to report it. And that's next Monday. How many new contacts oopsie. Have you added? Be ready to report. Oh, jeez. Your database, okay? Pick a game. See how many people you can have in the next week.
And from today to next week.
Yeah. Right? Challenge yourself. All right. How many people do you need in your database? This is a great question that a lot of people miss, right? It's like, Okay, my one goal, my overreaching goal is, to make $100,000, right? My average sale price is $500,000, right? And so that means, there's 25,000 per, that means at 4 million. I need 4 million in GCI. Understand how that works? 2.5%, right? Everybody get that? 20, right? And then at $500,000, I will need 8. That's 8 units at 500K each, right?
But you can sell one house here.
You could do that also.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. True. But the question is, how many people do I need to talk to sell one of these houses, right? That's really, how many Mets do I need in my database? Without historical information, everybody would say everybody in this room is on your side of this process, building your business. And so understanding how many people are in my database and how many it will take, how many units it will, how many people it will take, and how that I communicate with in a systematic way to see that return on my investment. I think let's do it this way before I get into it. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent tells us that over time and through consistent contact, you can expect 2 sales for every 12 names in your database, from 1 from repeat clients, 1 from referral clients. Right, so based on that ratio, use the following formula to determine the number of contacts you will need. Close sales goal 36 times 6 in terms of contacts. And then, all right, I'm going to do this a different way. I'm going to do it in a different mathematical way. All right, the math is that of your database. So you have 1,000 people in your database, right? 6% of those people in the next year will have the need to buy or sell real estate. Okay? Right? 6%. That is 60. That's 60 here. Is that correct?
Yes.
60 is 6% of 1,000.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
All right. So that's 6% is 60 people. The statistics show that if you do a 33 touch program with your database, 60% will have the need, and you will have access to half of those. That's 50% as an opportunity. So if you have 1,000 people, 60% of them have it, 60 of them have a need, and 30 of them you'll get the opportunity to talk to, right? So if that's 100, just like that, right? And then multiplier of that. So you need to have to do 8 deals. Right? We need to have how many people in our database? 369. Let's say 3. This is suggesting that 300 people, right? Because that would be it would be 18, right? And that would be 9. Right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Only 300 people that you're communicating with on 33 touch program. And a 33 touch program consists of all of this. 33 touches a year, right? So the question then becomes, what are those 33 touches, right? From the start, I met them today, I put them on a 33 touch program, boom, 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 over the course of the year, right? So I prefer to do the math in this fashion based on the based on your nets only. Any work you do out here is a cherry on top. Not to be counted on until it gets into your Mets pool. Does that make sense? This is where you have the influence. This is where you have the predictability in your Mets database. Everything else outside, stuff will come to you, right? Organically, things will happen, right? But you can only count on this and this.
Oh, so the non-Mets will be like the marketing.
Non-Mets are, you market to non-Mets, you can door knock to non-Mets, you can, maybe people in your, they go to your gym that you don't know yet.
So does today count? I know you said start now.
Yes, of course, today.
Okay, I
yes.
was already.
You can even add yesterday, man. Only yesterday.
Yeah, I was at
Yeah.
Right?
We were.
All right, does this calculator make sense to you guys to see how many Mets you need, right? Right? It's 6% of your total database, 50% of that, right? What you have access to. And that's if you put them on a 33 touch program. Yeah. You have a question?
No.
I have a question about the 33 touch program. So in command, we only have to put them on part one and it'll go to all of them, or do we have to add them to all four? That's like a technology question.
What was the question?
If we add them to 33 touch, there's 4 parts to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we only have to.
Is there 4 parts to it?
Yeah,
There are 33 touch programs that have 4 parts to them.
yes.
Okay.
Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, but they all bleed into
Are
another.
that is like a quarter of a year?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So then do I add them to all 4? But if the end of part 1, 2, and 3 say begin part 2, the natural next step from part 1 is going to say add them to.
So let's ask why it is that way, right? So
Yeah.
why are they broken down into 4? Why instead of the whole year, just a month called swoop? That demarcation allows you a moment to think about that client and where you want them to go next,
I see.
right?
That answers my question.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So everybody understand the question Renee was asking?
If she would run to, how many times you would
Yeah.
like go call them up or go like quarterly
Well,
monthly?
there's smart plans in the system already. You
Yeah.
put people on, right? You go in there, you tweak them, you put your information, blah, blah, blah. But they only allow you to do 3 months at a time, right? And the idea is 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3, 6, 9, 12, right? That at these inflection points, that you actually think about that client and where they should be going next, right?
Got it.
Right, am I gonna keep them on so you might have a buyers, a smart plan, sellers, smart plan, first time buyers, might be different, right? You might have, distressed seller, right? And the list can go on and on and on, right? 3-month seller. It could be a 3.
All the tags.
How, not tags as much as these are smart plans,
Got it.
right? Different smart plans for different types of
Yeah.
buyer and seller. And you start broad and then
Yeah,
you
we
develop
had
them.
them, yeah, we had them.
But these inflection points give you the opportunity to think about them before they move on to the next
Oh,
piece.
so basically, command will be like, think about this person today.
No, they'll say
Check in or call.
check in or call or set up smart plan completed, part
Got
one completed, you start part two,
Got it.
right? Part two completed, you start three, right? You don't want to start everybody on the same day though, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're all in the same
And then
cycle.
every-
You're calling everybody today, you know, right? So,
Well, you'll have you'll have once you call one person, one call 10, or 10 to 20, like,
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and we figured that out. That kid is, if you don't complete that task, then that moves to the next day, which you'll do the next day and pushes the timeline
Yeah.
back.
got it.
But I would suggest that you put, when you're putting people on smart plans, you do 10 at a time, right? Put on 10 people on a smart plan today, put 10 people on tomorrow, and it sets up that cadence for the future.
And the databases, I mean, in my experience, it's never done. You're always adding and modifying it. Unfortunately, people do die, so you want to take them off, so their heirs or whoever, their loved ones, don't get information.
Sure.
Because they're like that view or whatever. So it's never the same anyway.
Any
because-
Harry Potter fans? No, nobody, just me? Okay,
Okay.
anyway, the Harry Potter reference is Dumbledore has this magnificent cauldron of memories, I think it's called, right? And he's able to your brain only holds so much, right? And he pulls them out and pops them back in this bowl, and then he'll take another one he wants to remember and brings it back into his head. I wish I had that. But we do have it, it's our database, right? That's what I'm saying, when you put people in, make sure you put as much information in as possible, as many tags as possible. You never know, Barbie fan, you know what I mean? You might have one today, you might find another one, you might find another one over time, you will collect. And hey, worst comes to worst, that Barbie hashtag, was a moment that everyone forgot, right? And that's okay, right? But it's no harm, no foul on that. More hashtags, more groups. Groups are more like this, right? Opposed to like likes and dislikes. Because you want to put people in as in big bucket groups, right? So there's the big Mets, and then inside of Mets is buyers, sellers, lessees, first timers, distressed. These are all the groups, right? Right, and then hashtags are an overlay of all of that. The more you can do it, I'm telling you, it's harder to go back and start to recreate as you're putting them in, as you're moving that 10 from your Google over into your command. Like really spend the time with them.
Like you're categorizing your kind of like what you have in common. Like, let's say I like baseball. Let's
It
say-
could have something to do with you, it could have nothing to do with you.
Got it.
But yes,
So you
absolutely.
basically need to be informed of I have friends
And
that
if
like soccer, so I have to
Sure,
go see
yeah,
the soccer.
Absolutely. Well, because you're gonna have more than one client who loves soccer,
Got it.
right? There's soccer, and then there's Manchester United, and then there's Beckham, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we might have all three of those. But the point is that, I appreciate soccer. I would do a soccer tag. And if I tripped over something that I thought was interesting about soccer, I would send it out to those
Got
people, right? It's like, oh, I came across this article, or, oh, did you see this? Oh, or, it informs you how to communicate, how to reestablish connection with people, right? Back and forth, because I spent time with all of you, right? And so that allows me to build my relationship with you deeper, right? My understanding of you and what your likes and dislikes and what excites you and what motivates you and how to speak to you and all of those things, right? Imagine if I hadn't seen you for 3 months, I met you once, and then I didn't see you again for 3 months, right? Are we starting, if I'm only seeing you every 3 months, how do I reestablish that connection? And how much effort does it make to reestablish that connection every time? And how often am I going to miss that connection? So this allows me to go back to, oh yeah, the last time we talked, you were talking about, you had just, it was just the women's World Cup soccer and how, Spain, I think, one, didn't it? I think Spain, and you were just talking about blah, 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 since then, how, and so that, me knowing something about you in that way, remembering something about our connection, just reestablishes that connection without starting from scratch.
Or like saying like, oh, sorry for not calling you for a while. That's like downhill.
Yeah, no one needs to say that to me ever, right? I don't see Aaron's. It's not part of my vernacular, and I would argue that it's not part of most people's vernacular, right? And those people that it is, but the point being is that, my having an understanding of what connects Aaron and I, we can go back to it, right? I don't have to waste time. And because you're in the relationship business, if you have to, play Sisyphus with every relationship, push the rock up the hill, and then the rock rolls back, you push it up again in the morning. But if you have to do that with every person, you're gonna die. I mean, it's just, it's torture. It's torture. And I like people, right? But I wanna go back to where we left off.
Yeah.
Right? And you want, and
I have the issue. I love going following up with people, and the worst part is when they don't remember you or the conversation or like that's when it gets like.
But you start that in, oh, I remember last time when we talked, you blah, 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 right? You were just getting ready for your wedding.
Yeah.
You were just, you were running to choose your wedding cake. How did that go? How was your wedding? How was your, more, tell me more.
Yes.
Right? And you're not trying to be creepy. It's your business to have intimate relationships with someone, right? And I mean that in a just like know someone and have them know you, so that you can be of service to them. And that's the magic that happens in this little bubble bucket here, right? Is that you have those pieces because you put it all in your database. I have a bizarre recollection of unimportant things and a poor recollection of certain important things, right? I remember little bits and pieces of it all. Nature was in the movie business, in the promotions of the movie business. One was it music?
Well, I was in both businesses.
See?
So
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
That's why I'm confused, right? Okay, all right,
But like you said, it's all the same thing, it's all relationships.
woo. And that's what this whole thing is, this whole piece is about, right? And you can see what page is this one for you, this page 13, this, how many Mets do you want?
11. For us, 11.
Right, 11, there are no limits to your potential sales growth as a real estate agent. As chart below illustrates, a consistent approach to working with your Mets will ensure a consistent return. Remember that your Mets will grow with every transaction you complete, but rapid growth and corresponding increase in income are yours for the having if you commit to expanding your Mets through prospecting efforts, and then build relationships with them through the 8x8, 33 touch, blah, blah, blah. That's an oversimplification, but yes, it is absolutely true. So it's so the question is, I have 100 Mets now, right? Right, let's go like this one. 100 Mets, 100 contacts, and this is 4. Oh no, let's try that again. 300, 100, right? So the gap between, if my goal is to close 8 deals and I only have 100 people in my Mets now, right? And I'm only, and that's going to afford me 3 deals. How do I fill that gap between the 3 and the 9 opportunities?
You have to meet.
You're gonna get more people into my Mets, more people into my database. And so you systematically start to take apart this, okay? How am I going, what is the one thing I'm going to do to garner more Mets, right? I'm going to start with one thing. Network. Door knock. Internet. The house party. Whatever it is. Yeah, right? Seminars, this, that, I'm good. You know, when you set an expectation, you set a plan. This is about having a plan. It's not magic, right? You can be purposeful in these activities to garner your opportunities. You have to break it down into, first this piece, right? And then this piece here. First, get this machine going. Get your database up and connecting with people in a systematic way. 33 touches, right? This is the quarter, so that means, what is that, 4 divided into 33? It's not going to go in evenly, so you do that, what is that, 8? 8, 16, 32? All right, let's say 9, right? So, because we want to over, okay, right? So it's, all right, I'm going to say 8 touches here, 8 touches here, 8 touches here, 9 touches there. Okay, and that's so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then what are those things? You got each month, right? This is 3 months in this sector here. So you have an email each month. That's 3, 6, 9. That's 12 emails, right? 12 newsletters. 12 newsletters. 12 newsletters. Right? Emails. Right? And how many calls? You call them once a quarter. That's 4 calls. Again, this is just me spitballing, okay? You each should determine your own way of connecting. I'd say twice a month you do a text, right? And so that's 24 texts. And let's start with just 12. Once a month we'll do a text. Should say it's someone to get you closer to 33. Text. It's 24. That's 28. We have 6 more. We have 2 handwritten letters, handwritten cards, holiday and birthday, right? Cards. All right, and then what else do I got in there? Mailers, so that 1 each quarter, a mailer, postcard type thing. What's that? 4, 6. That's 18. That's 20. 22. There you go. 34. Doesn't take much. I'd say 33 people are. I can't be bugging people that much. We're talking about we haven't even gotten into. I'd say another 2 to 4 hashtag emails or tag emails, right? Specific to their, again, likes and dislikes, right? This is how you communicate with people, and this is, in your database. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you.
Questions? So script here, and so on page, I guess 11 is you see what you need to accomplish a certain amount of transactions, right? Now, don't forget this is based on a much lower $250 sale. It's only $250,000 sales. Yeah, right. Still relevant somewhere in this nation, in most places in this nation. We're the anomaly, right? You guys understand that?
Yeah.
So it's a multiplier of 4, in this particular market. They have to do 4 deals to get to our 1 deal. Okay? And their cost of living is not that great compared to ours. You know what I'm saying? It's not 4 times cheaper, right? So
We also have eczema weather.
say that one more
I
time.
said we have eczema weather.
Yes.
That's for yesterday.
So, basically your average commission, which we did in this little thing here, you get to see how many units you need to get to your goal, right? So to make 100,000, 500,000 a pop, it's 8 units.
Yeah.
And then this is how many people you need in your database. And again, it's not just having them in your database. You have to have a touch system with them. They have to be hearing from you. You have to be interacting with them. That's how you get the opportunities. That's how you get half of the opportunities that are there. Because 6%, like I was at first I was like, why don't they just say 3% of your database? You can get, historically people get 3% of their database who are on a 33 touch program and nothing else, right? 33 touch program with your database, you will get 3% of them to do a deal with you, right? It's going to show you what you're not getting first, right? And that's the important piece, is we're getting 50%, even with 50% of them left on the table. These are people who won't even contact you, even though you're 33 touch in relationship with them. We're just saying that you will have the opportunity to get this because they're going to raise their hand to you. That doesn't mean you get it, right? That means you get the opportunity. And that's what you saw. Right? Does that make sense? You look perplexed. All right, what is networking? Oh, okay. Successful business people must consistently network to make contacts, generate business, and maintain relationships. Myth, if you build it, they will come. Truth, all businesses must drive their customers to them. In real estate, where many established agents rely almost exclusively on repeat business and referrals, the above statement is especially true. The good news is that by diligently working with Mets through systematic use of your database, and you will drive people to your database through your prospecting and marketing activities. Then you can watch your Mets turn into appointments, referrals, repeat business, and close transactional. Yeah, you know what this isn't? You know what this isn't? This isn't about saying, hey, you need to buy or sell real estate. What's your real estate plans for the next 3 months? That's not what it is, okay? It's about being of service. And in that, you get the opportunities, right?
But I think that most thing for us, we're so new, that we're not really confident when we're on the phone call to really feel like we're giving them service they're looking for. And I think that's where I have a hard time trying to reach out to people at this moment in time. Because I really feel like I don't know well enough about the market and everything that they might throw at me. So
it's complete opposite of what I was saying, right? And what I'm saying is you don't need to have mastery. You're not there to sell real estate. Okay, you're there to establish a relation. That phone call is in this, is to be of value. When I say value, value doesn't mean I bought or sold real estate with them. It doesn't exclusively mean that. It can mean that, of course, that I've demonstrated some ability in the real estate realm that adds value to their lives. Absolutely. But that is this much. You have so much more to offer people on a interpersonal level. You have to ask them the right questions, and you have to and listen actively, right? Moses, how's it going? What have you been up to? You just started a real estate business. That sounds very exciting. How's that going for you? Oh, you're just learning a lot, and oh, that sounds like an amazing journey. How can I help you? You know what? I might know some people I might know a lender a friend of mine was a lender. Maybe you two should talk, and he can give you, he's been in the business years, maybe he can give you a little perspective on it. You should talk to my friend, you should talk to this other friend. She's been doing social media for a bunch of people in retail, but I think she'd be great also, and she's done a little bit of real estate agents. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about real estate. I'm talking about other things that I know of how, I'm talking about business. You know about business, right? You know how you're a producer, right? You know how to produce an experience. Think about what you do, rely on what you do know to help people, right? It's a grab bag, it's your little Batman utility belt, right? Yes, real estate is on there. That's the big gun, right? And you're learning how to use the big gun. But it's not the only thing on your utility belt, right? Use everything you got.
Sure, I totally get you, and I usually do use everything I got, and I usually have how I've worked for the past years in my industry, right? But then also I just feel a little uncomfortable because I did that naturally, because in my industry, we're just looking to network and I have something to offer, and we're just becoming friends, and I have no problem getting friends and making friends. But I feel like this one, I feel like as if I have to kind of systematically kind of do it, and I'm just trying to get used to how I can naturally be myself without thinking the outcome per se.
Yeah. You're getting time, the outcome will strengthen you, right?
Exactly.
For sure. So,
And one more thing is especially this past few weeks, I was working with a lot of people. I was introduced to a lot of people by people, right? And then it's a little more sensitive for me to, unless I was asked. I feel like if I just come off too strong, because they're friends of friends, and I feel like I have to be more sensitive to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to come off as that sales guy kind of messing up my friend's relationship too. And maybe I'm just thinking too much at this point, but all throughout my life, networking was so naturally for me, and I just have to figure out how I can adjust that.
Sure. Part of that is understanding the language of real estate.
Exactly.
I just want to say this real quick. Bouncing off of what you were just stating, kind of what I realized too, because I'm beyond that part of it. Some people don't really know what a real estate agent is or what a real estate agent does. Those are the ones that you kind of try to learn how to steer them in that direction.
Yeah.
Because I run into those kind of people that don't really know what we are, what we do. They just,
So many people.
yeah, so I get.
How we get paid. And
Yeah,
how, they think, oh, am I going to start running up a bill as soon as they start talking to Moses? That's not, and sometimes it's just, hey, where are you when you're real? Oh, you're a realtor? Oh yeah, I was thinking about buying a house someday. Oh, you're thinking about buying a house someday? Where are you in your journey? Where, what do you know? And what kind of questions do you have? right? I'll answer the ones I have, I'll answer the ones I know, and the ones I don't know, I'll find the information out for you. So, have you ever, are you out looking at houses? Tell me, are you out looking at houses? Role play with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, not at the moment, no.
Yeah, so, most people, they start fantasizing about, owning a house, they start looking at houses, and that's where their journeys start. But have you ever interacted with a lender, right? And do you understand what that process looks like? So, I can hook you up with a lender, but first let me tell you about what the real estate process looks like, right? Because I think a lot of people don't really understand what it is. If you've never done it, how could you? There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
So number one is that, both buyer and seller are individually represented by real estate agents, right? And as a buyer representative, because you're looking to buy a house, I would represent you in that journey. I would feed you, I would give you access to information, to listings and such. I would go with you to see houses and review and decide what you like and what you don't like and what you want and what you don't want. And then at the same time, we would have you connected with a lender, and that lender will look at your finances and give you an estimation on what you can purchase, what your buying power looks like today. It might come out that to pass that you need some time to build up your buying power to get what you want. But that's how you start your journey. You figure it out, right? And then you figure it out. So, once we get you in we're connected with the lender, we'll start showing you properties. And when it comes time to, when you see something that you like, we'll put an offer on it. It's a contractual agreement that will make the offer. And oh, by the way, the seller pays me, you don't pay. So, I only get paid on a closed transaction by the seller. Okay, this portion of the sales proceeds. So you don't have to worry about paying me. I'm here to find you what you want, and I get paid when I find you and get you what you want.
Exactly, yeah.
So you start the conversation in a very rudimentary way.
Oh, what if you were talking to a seller?
Susan,
What
what
if
are
you
you
were,
talking to a seller?
yeah, the whole,
Well, the seller is a whole different, seller is someone who owns a house, right? How long have you been in your house? How, you want to get to seller, you want to get to motivation, right? Why, how long have you, well, so if they haven't raised their hand to sell, it's how long have you been in your house and what does your house mean to you? Tell me about your house. Tell me about what you love about your house. Tell me about, if you ever, and in that you're like, oh, that sounds amazing. All your children are gone, but you got that big house. Do you ever think about, downsizing to a smaller house? There is a program for people over 55 where you can transfer your tax basis from one property to another. You've owned this house for 30 years. When you bought it for $400,000, it's now worth $2 million. Your tax basis is so low. I can understand why you wouldn't want to give that up. I don't, but this tax vehicle allows you to move your tax basis from your old house to your new house, no matter how much it is. So, think about that. You can buy a smaller house, ground floor. You don't have to worry about the stairs. It's just one type of conversation. You learn that from listening, from asking questions. What are you trying? Where are your kids? Oh, they all moved to Colorado. Do you ever think of moving there? Whatever. It's not about, again, it's about inquiring and giving information, educating more than anything else. It's 90% of your job is in that relational piece, is to be of service, to give good information, to find good information. Professional Moses, he knows what he knows what he doesn't know, he knows where to get the information.
That's my favorite.
You do not need to, know, right? But you need to have some confidence around what you do, right? And you should, right? All right. Why is that? People choose to do business with those they know, like, and trust. Remember, I would say, what we would say is, people choose to do business with others with like belief systems, okay? And like belief systems could be cultural, could be spiritual, could be the love of dogs or art. It could be geographic. It could be the love of food. It could be, it's what connects people is what it is. You know, some people love their dog. Listen, I love my dog, okay? I do. But it's still a dog, okay? And in that, you know, I don't need to degrade it in any way, shape, or form, but it is a dog. Okay, and some people think differently, okay? And for those people, I'm not in judgment, but that's, they feel something. And I can tell you that if I was their vet, I'd be sending that dog a birthday card, okay?
I feel that's great.
Were we gonna say something, you were just acknowledging my
just
brilliant idea?
Right.
But,
So find your passion, find what you're easily and invest in it.
And milk it. What do you like? Here's an article.
you know, I think that's like exciting to be able to share in someone's passion. I don't, I'm trying to think of, like, I appreciate people who are passionate, even if it's about a subject matter that I am not passionate about. I just love to be around them. I have a friend who collects vintage liquor. This guy's a collector, first of all, right? But he collects vintage liquor, right? And it's like, it makes me feel kind of, you know, gives me a headache, all these things, whatever. Not the point. When I'm with him, his passion about it, if he showed me some Pappy Van Winkle or some 1967 old granddad, it's like, it elevates the whole thing for me. And I'm interested, and I'm there, connected, right? And I like him, right? And that brings our relationship closer, and I don't get a headache from it for some reason. I don't know, because it's not, you
It's
know,
about the vibe.
it's the vibe, right? Him and my dad are the only two people I never got a headache with them. Especially this one. Anyway.
Sean, I was just gonna say, that's a good way for people in our, whatever our relationship is with them, is to go through their Facebook pages, to be honest, or Instagram. Because you'll get an immediate sense of like what they're into. Like, I know so many dog dads, you know, on Facebook and Instagram. It's like, you just brought that up to me, and I was like, oh, that's a good thing to know.
You put the tag in the
Yeah.
contact, and you know, if it's like, oh, it's Christmas time, and I was at a 99-cent store, and I found these like, these dog, you know, like, you know, something you put on the dog's head or something with, you know, Santa Claus beer for dogs. You know, I bought 20 of them, and, you know, you're messaging people top down, hey, I have, you know, people who celebrate Christmas, and, you know, and have dogs, you know what I mean?
I bought an extra. I actually have 20 extra, but I have an extra for you.
There we go. It means something, right? And, so, you know, that's what we're talking about here. Achieve mind share and be the first person they think of. It's not who you know, it's who knows you, right?
Yeah.
You have to be relevant. You know, and here we are in this yearly, we don't know anywhere if this was 1 year or this was 10 years. We don't know when they're gonna wanna buy a house or when someone they know wants to buy a house, right? You know, that pops up. And if we're not on their timeline, if they don't have this experience and we're just floating out there, they're not gonna think of us, right? But if we're systematically staying in touch with them and you know, their friend, you know, they're in a conversation with their friend, the friend's like, oh yeah, we've been looking for a house, been really, really tough. You know, I hate all the agents out there. Oh, boom, right? You're front of mind because you're in this conversation. Oh, you should call Andrew. You know, we work together in the record business. He's a great guy, super attentive, super detail oriented, and you know, he'll be able to help you, right? Here's his information. He sends me information all the time about real estate. The guy must be. That's how you stay connected, right? Your success in real estate will be in direct proportion to the number of people who think of you when they think of real estate. That sounds like a tattoo. Your success in real estate will be in direct proportion to the number of people who think about you when they think of real estate. Synonymous, right? If you want business, you must be top of mind, and to be top of mind, you must communicate persistently and consistently with your network by making contact each and every month using your 8x8 or 33 touch. Okay? So when you're the first person they think of when they think of real estate. In other words, if you stay in touch with your network, you will get the first call and the first appointment. People don't call a bunch of people. Okay, they just don't call a bunch of people. They usually work with the first person. Look at this, 69% only contact one agent, right? So be that agent for as many people as you possibly can, right? The truth, you must stay in touch. Out of sight is out of mind, right? People need to be reminded that you are in real estate. Don't fall out of touch with people who have the potential to supply you with consistent flow of repeat and referral business. So imagine you're doing all of this, right? And then you have social media as an overlay. And then, oh, you might have a bus bench, or you might be an ad in the newspaper. That's just more, that's layers. It's all, the idea in modern prospecting is that people, we have so many things coming at us. So much information, emails, texts, ads, internet, social media, all of this information coming at us. We're searching for immediate gratification, right? So for information that we want. So we're not looking to the side as much as possible. But when we want something, when we're looking for something, that's when we look to the side. You want to be there, wherever they are, right? You want to be there in their peripheral always. If you're here, they're just going to push you away, right? But if you're here, they're able to go on their journey and look for you in the peripheral, push you right there. So that's the kind of that's the kind of visual that you want to kind of understand about your prospecting and marketing, that you are there even when they're not looking for you. Okay? Your mess can get you off the real estate roller coaster, yeah. So, I've showed you this many times before. New agents, their business looks up and down, up and down. It's a 90-day cycle. it's 30 days to find an opportunity, 30 days to find, to fill the order, and 30 days to contractually get the order filled, right? Let's see what we got here. Like, respect, yeah, no, yeah, must stay in touch, yeah, the roller coaster, right, here it goes. If you're consistently lead generating in the way that we're talking about, you're going to lose these peaks and valleys, right? You'll get a straighter line on the production because you're not waiting to finish a deal to start prospecting. And you get a deal and finish a deal and start prospecting again, right? That's what most new agents do. They get out of, but to get out of that loop, it's just daily lead generation. Set the systems up, follow the system. Set the system up, use your database like Dumbledore's memory bulb, right? You're just dumping it all in there, let them do 3/4 of the work for you. Make contact through phone calls and visits to ask for business. Text, since they wrote this, text is also applicable, right? So real estate is both a numbers game and a contact sport. To effectively, what is it, like
2019.
Yeah, 19. Real estate is both a numbers game and a contact sport. To effectively lead generate from your network, you'll be touching the people in your database in a systematic way. That is, making contact with many people as possible. Our research with top agents is clear. All your Mets should be in a marketing action plan. Marketing/prospecting marketing plan, right? If you look at these actions here, this is prospecting. This can be prospecting. Right, so these two are prospecting, everything else here is marketing. You guys understand how that works? Marketing, right? It's a little light on prospecting. Right? I would add like two coffee lunches a year, right? That's more prospecting, right? Again, you can be whatever you want, just as we plan. And I would definitely encourage you to have it be a nice blend of prospecting. Here we go. Real estate is numbers game and contact sport, blah, blah, blah. Making calls through phone calls and visits to ask for business, also texting, marketing, letters, postcards, emails, personal notes, letters, reports sent and purposefully and systematically to establish mind share, right? Questions about that?
I will say I get at least 4 postcards a month from different agents, but they never call me, they never text me, so they didn't. So it's fine with me though, because I respond to that in the way that, like, there's one in particular, she lives in my building, I don't know her, but I like her postcard. I would actually call her and talk to her over some of the other ones that are a little more, too many numbers, too many graphs. It's like, you know.
What do you like about her postcard?
It's simple, and it's just like her image. And then, you know, if you need blah, 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 blah yourself. Her name is on there very clearly. There's nothing personally I think about her.
So it's basically like an enlarged business card type thing?
Kind of, except her image is on it. And it's not so dark as the other ones. And I don't know if it's because they're males and she's a female. But it's just interesting because they don't touch me any other way. And I know for a fact, as I do this a lot, where I research people I don't know, and through several different ways. It's creepy. What? That's kind of creepy. Okay. But I learned yesterday this couple, who I only realized anyway, over a house that I was looking at. And I was like, okay, and I know a way, because Ethan showed it to me, that helps me in that further along.
He helps you for the.
He helped me do that, yes, last week when you were gone. So, that guy, his parents both are at some address at the bottom of this hill, and I was like, let me check that out on Google. Of course, it's an upscale, they're in their nineties, it's an upscale, memory facility, because they can't live at home, and it's.
So he's living in the house and they're at the upscale.
No, he's selling another house in that area. Who knows, you know, all the whole thing. They're probably renting it. But the point is, those agents could get my phone number and they can be calling me and, but they don't text me. I mean, since I've sat here, I've had 3 texts from people like they're just pumping, just trying to sell me crap that I never wanted, but.
They want to do this for you.
What?
They want to do this for you. Or, oh, is it real estate related or?
No, there's just things I never signed up for. And so I'm just curious, I wonder why those agents who are somewhat experienced, she's not, but the other ones are. Why are they calling me?
They don't know you, number one.
No, two of the other ones know me. They live in my building.
And what would they be calling you for?
To sell my place. That's what all these ones.
They don't know you're a realtor yet?
Oh, you know what? No, one of them does. Yeah, one of them.
Right, I'm just.
No, the other one does, because
They could ask you how you're doing.
I saw them at an open house.
But I'd say that at 300 realtors, why is it not open comment? I mean, it's just, people don't do what they should be doing in their business.
Right, I was just curious, like, what.
No, not a lot of people want to call.
I totally understand.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're not gonna call, what else are you gonna do?
Right.
Are they texting you?
No, they send me
Are they sending
postcards.
you emails? Postcards are literally.
No, they're not
When you
email.
talk about,
Crap.
when you talk about throwing shit up against the wall, I mean, it's the least sticky material there, right? Like I said, in the olden days, before the internet, you send out 1,000 postcards, you get a 1 to 2% return on investment, right? That means that, like, if you send out 1,000, like two to 4 people are going to send you or call and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, or I'm looking to buy something, and so on and so forth. Now it's 0.0000.
I think the number is like, if you send 500, you'll probably get 1 contact out of that. I think that was.
Contact, yeah.
Not
if
worth
you're
it,
Yeah.
Yeah, but on top of all of this other stuff, so if my plan for non-vets is farming. So what's my plan, right? So number one is I'm gonna door knock. Okay, how much are you gonna door knock? About 500 houses. I'm gonna do 50 at a time, 10 weeks. I'm gonna do it once a week. 2 hours. Okay, that'll do it. That's 50 a week. That's a 10-week cycle to get that 500. That means every 10 weeks you will be on the same doorstep, knocking on the same door. That doesn't mean to be answering the door, right? It's just on the same doorstep, right? But that's not enough. How else do I get these people to know me, right? Oh, 2 is I'm gonna join, attend at a neighborhood association, right? Okay. And then 3 is 2 times a year events. I'm gonna do a food drive. And I'm gonna do a shred event. Shred paper event, okay? Okay, all right, what else? All right, how else can I get in touch with these? How else can I interact with these people? With a door knock, I'm gonna send them, 4 times a year postcard, just my face. Right? Okay, right, that's it.
It works. I mean, I'm on her list. I'm on. this
Whatever
list.
works for you, right? I have zero judgment. I had an agent who was an ex-school teacher. She's still here. I adore her. She door knocks periodically. And you know the colored reams of paper, you got the pink, you got the blue, you got the, what else is there, yellow and green, right?
Right.
You know what she would door knock with? She would print out like a little card, you know, with information, right? 2 on a sheet, cut it in half, this big on either green or yellow, or pink or blue, flimsy paper. That's what she would door knock with. And she'd always come back with some. She'd do it for a week, she'd go list it. So you can judge all you like, right? You can say, oh, I need the fancy card, I need the fancy postcard, or this, or that, or the other thing, or the magnet, or the, yeah, sure. Or just compelling with the little teacher's Xerox. You know, and I think that's really what it reminded me of, like, she just had the type.
What's
So,
part of
I never
the
did.
notes you get,
What?
like, as a kid, like, as a
Absolutely,
student,
absolutely.
like, you're a good.
Absolutely, it's about the authenticity though, right? It was her, right? So, you know, I tell the story about the pie lady, you know, I used to go to, Keller Williams International, has not Mega, I just came back from Mega Camp, a family reunion, and, you know, there's a whole panel about these people who will buy events. And it's like, pie event, that's not old, you know, that's. So somebody does a buy event, and it works for them.
Yeah.
So I never discount anyone's effort in that manner. But so here we go. I'm just trying to build out the farming plan to get more mets. So door knocking once a week for 2 hours. Attend a neighborhood association 2 times a year events and food drive, shred events. 4 times postcard a year. 5 support local school. What else can we do? What else can we do to meet people inside of our
Volunteer
for?
for like a soup kitchen or a.
Sure, if it's area specific. This is for
Yeah.
a farming plan,
Oh,
right?
farming. I would like volunteer at like I have religious
How about
events.
this? Help solve a problem, right? Right, that could be homelessness, that could be, you know, displacement, it could be all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
It helps solve a problem in that area. What else? Anybody else? Anything else we could do in a geographic farm to have the impact? About work / school. I was gonna say sponsor, I'm just making it up, neighborhood garden. Right, and it goes on and on and on and on. This is my plan to meet more people, to get more people. Right? And you build a plan for farming, if that's what you're going to do, or networking, or internet leads, or alumni association, or whatever it is. What exists in the world already, to build a plan to get more people into them, right? You're there. But it takes work and it takes a plan. It doesn't happen on its own, right? We start to work through the basic action plans here on what is 24, 25, 23, free, all right? See the 8x8. 8x8 concept is,
High impact, high saturation technique, and put you in the #1 position in the minds of everyone you add to your METS database.
so this is not for people in your Mets database. This is people who you want to get it. So if I meet somebody here, right? The first thing I do, if I get their email, put them on an 8x8, right?
Okay, 8x8 is to get them into your METS.
Right. This is about how do I get them from a one-way conversation into a two-way conversation, so push them. And that's like 8 touches. This is, we didn't have 8 touches in the calendar. Personal business, phone calls, 8 items. It used to say, it's a short amount of time. I'd say that this is like a 2-week program, right? Because you just want to pound them for 2 weeks, you know, it's like, just so they know, it's your first opportunity to make an impression, right? And imagine, I met somebody at an open house, right? I met them at an open house, and, you know, it's the first time we met. It's my only opportunity to make an impression, right? So I'm introducing myself, I'm allowing them to process the property, and then I really have the opportunity to start to connect with these people. How do I find out how to, what you want, right? How's the process going? What have you seen so far? What have been your challenges? I know a lot of agents will tell you, ask if they're working with someone else. I think that's like a disqualifier. You're looking for how to disqualify them. So for me, it's like, I'm gonna give you, and you all the same opportunity to tap into my head, right? You get to choose whether you don't need it, you don't want it. Or,
So if they're willing to tell you stuff, then that kind of shows you there's still a chance, even if you do or do not know that.
I'm not looking to take it, I'm only looking to work with the willing.
Mhm.
Right? If they're willing to work with me, then they're not willing to work with someone else, right? Yeah, but I'm only looking to work with people who are willing to work with me. It's not, I don't, if I force Andrew into a relationship, I'm gonna be constantly trying to win him over,
Mhm.
right? And that's not where I want to spend my time. It's not the mindset of abundance. If you don't see the value in me, then you should find someone that you do see the value in, right? And give me the opportunity to show you my value. And if it still doesn't connect, then please, I want you to get what you want, right? And if I'm not the vehicle for that, then you convert it.
Are you usually upfront about that, like? Or do you go around about it?
So I don't know that I ever really say that, but I will say that. I have no vanity around saying that. But the way I approach it is I approach you as someone to contribute to. You don't need, want, or not open to it, that's your choice. But it doesn't matter to me whether you have an agent that you like, you have an agent that you dislike, you have an agent that is your brother or your sister, none of that matters to me. It's, hey, Moses, I'm giving you the opportunity, I have something to offer, right? And I'm giving, and I like offering that to everyone. What, you know, so I don't say that, it's more like, how long have you been looking for houses? How has the process been going for you? What challenges, what successes? What did you see you liked? What did you try? Just asking questions. And then you see the problem, you see the gaps, and you start filling those gaps in. not with what I would do, but hey, the market's really challenging right now. I know there's a lot of buyers out there and low inventory, but there's still opportunities, you know? Have you ever tried, hey, you should ask your agent to, if you're working with an agent, oh, you should ask your agent to call the agents in the, how do you think this would roll over? How do you think it would be received? Andrew is a buyer who's been looking for 6 months. He's put in around 6 to 10 offers and been rejected on all of them, right? And there's really nothing on the market that he hasn't seen. Okay, he's been working with the same guy, likes him, dislikes him, thinks he could do, you know, and you get a little banged up even with somebody that you liked after 6 offers, right? You feel a little smacked around. And I say, hey, you know what, Andrew? You should ask your agent to call some of the top agents in the areas that you're looking at and see what they have coming on the market soon. You know, I mean, that's a great, you know, I feel for your agent. I know that there's a limited amount of inventory out there, and you know, and you look like somebody who, you know, who is looking for the best, and you know, you're in Los Angeles where everybody's looking for, you know, to get the best and and do it for, you know, a reasonable amount of money. But yeah, why don't you try, you know, what I've seen work in the past is, you know, just calling those agents and who do a lot of business in the area and see if what they have coming up. And they have, you know, maybe they have a pocket listing, and those are real opportunities for a buyer who is as serious as you are. So how do you think they're going to think when they? You know, he didn't do that. Maybe I should be working with you, right?
Still came out positive. You didn't.
I'm contributing. If Andrew takes that to his agent, I'm just as good as if he called me in 2 days and said, hey, you know, I was thinking about what you said, and you really, would you think about representing me? Not had that happen.
Right.
Yeah. Would you think? No. Yeah. Would you consider representing me?
Right.
Yeah, that's a beautiful position to be in.
Right.
And it's just about all it is about being of service, right? It's like, just trying to help everybody. And the ones who need your help they'll raise their hand. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, lead by aid, there's a basic plan there. We're past this technologically. All of that is in smart plans. You take from this and add to that, and you know, it's all of value. Just the application is a little, you know, updated. There's emails, and we will go from emails apparently to text, and as a form of communication.
So if we get a lead from Up-City, that's already a two-way conversation. Should we put them directly into, kind of?
They've raised their hand that, no, it's not a two-way conversation until you've talked to them and you met them and they know that you're the resource for them. Yeah,
Okay,
just the lead itself is not a two-way conversation.
okay. So you're on the phone with them. You send them a text message, hey, this is your realtor from Keller Williams. Looking forward to moving forward in this process with you, right? Should I add them directly to my 8x8? Or should I add them directly to my W touch?
Oh, you should add it to a smart plan. We might have a smart plan just for those people. I would say Up-City or internet leads.
Internet leads, okay.
Okay, just internet leads. So what is an internet? How are we trying to move the internet leads forward, right?
Yeah.
What is the vehicle? You got text. I would use everything. Call, text, email. Call, text, email. And we use it really quickly and rapidly. I told you one of very, very successful agent in Bellevue, Washington, Ben Kinney. He had the 10 days of pain.
Yeah.
Right? Met him on a Sunday. Every day they'd be getting calls, emails, until calls, emails, text, calls, emails, text, calls, emails, text. until they just say, please stop.
Yeah.
Or it's the next move, right?
Yeah, I went to Bellevue High.
You went to Bellevue High School? Oh, that's hilarious. But
Would it be unethical to go to an open house on a weekend, not identify that I'm a realtor, and say that I'm looking for something? And just so I can see what that agent would do with me?
No. I would do it.
it's, I would go out of area, but what
Okay.
happens if you know, fast forward a month and you're a buyer's agent representing something, you know what I'm saying?
So then it's.
Hi, I copied your process.
Get your husband to go.
Yeah, genius.
There we
Get
go.
a friend to do it. Genius. All
Or
right, babe.
ask
No,
people
the way I see
know
it
that
is,
houses
since you're an
with
agent-
someone else.
Oh, that's
Ask
true.
them how
Right.
they do, like,
I mean, I own a house, but it's been a long time.
Try-
We had a
try-
terrible relationship.
try to keep your path as clean
you
and
could
professional as possible.
ask
Yes.
your,
That's true.
your
That's,
most,
you know.
your friend that are just recently.
So I guess I won't do it, but it, just this conversation brought it up.
If you do,
Curious.
okay, so number one is, what has been your experience at open houses? If you were a client who, you're a little check,
Yeah,
okay,
like I'll talk to an agent, no problem.
right, you're a little check.
Yeah.
But I go to argue that most people visiting open houses aren't as check issue, right?
Right.
And so, you know, most people are just like going in, they're putting their information down on the paper. Sometimes it's good information, sometimes they do chicken scratch,
Right.
so you want to, but let's say you just put, you get an email. Maybe just register your name, or just sign your name, don't chat it up, don't draw attention to yourself, Andrew.
Right,
You know what I mean, just put your information down there.
Right.
You know, Buddy Crane.
Oh, that's
Right,
right.
Buddy Crane, Buddy at gmail.com, but whatever it is, you know, and then just see how it pans out,
Okay. No,
right? You're not saying either way, you know, you're an agent or not agent. you know.
Right, and like you said, I can do it, you know, I can do it in Pasadena, Palos Verdes.
Right, well,
Somewhere I'm not.
if you can draw attention to yourself,
Right.
what you do, then you have, you notice.
Okay.
All right, so it goes on to describe the 33 touch. Again, I am going to defer to command for smart plans, okay? It replaced the 33 touch and the 8x8. Because it's a smart plan of 8x8 or 33 touch, right? And it's some of it's automated, you know, you can automate text, you can automate emails in that, and the calls that will call, right? What's that face looking for? What's that?
Internet lead smart plan is what I was thinking about, is that I could create a new one, or there might be one.
Oh, you have to go
There's
to the
for sure.
marketplace. Yeah, so,
Smart plan.
yeah, but go into smart plans.
Okay, internet lead, TDC internet leads, we follow up.
Yeah, look at the ones that have been downloaded the most.
Got that set up?
Yeah, let's see if I get internet.
Pretty, I have some,
Boom.
I need to download some.
So, okay, let me see what this one looks like.
Colonize for first before I
Send text, delay, send email. email,
Right, maybe it's a
phone call.
content.
Some of my spirit with like.
I need to figure out how do I look at these
I put them
emails?
like
How do I see what they get?
twice, 3 times.
In the edit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just-
All right, so let's keep this rolling because I do have a lot to cover. All right, but a lot of it is referred to command classes. But 33 touch, 7 strategies for success. We'll take the number one is plan, right? Plan, right? Yeah, I love this. Creating a 33 touch plan from scratch can be a daunting task. faced with but you have them in smart plans. You can, smart plans, you can adapt to smart plans, right? Number one is just do it, right? The longer it takes you to get it started, the more money you are throwing away. This result does not come from the day one, right? You have to build up momentum in it by actually using the plan, okay? Delegate. The more you take it out of your hands, the more likely it gets done. This delegating it this is automated. This is can be automated. These actually, handwritten cards can be automated in some way, both, mass mailers, and then all of this can be, kind of delegated in a way. Right? You don't have to be doing all of it yourself. Or you don't have to do it sending out single emails. That's what it comes down to, right? So, and always, let's see, 3 calls a year. Yeah. Right, I said, well, I think I said 4 calls, but you get the idea very, very easily. I mean, it's, in this 33 touch program, there's mailing, telephone calls, and handwritten notes. This is pre the acknowledgement of texting being a valid form of communication. Number 2 is give value. Always give value, okay? Be a giver. Always come from a place of contribution. Coming from contribution means focusing on long-term interest of your customers, not just the current deal. Steve Martin, top producer in Snellville, Georgia, advises, make sure that when you contact them, it's legitimate, that it brings something of value to the table, and that it is with them in mind. It's not with you. When you're door knocking around an open house that you're sitting for someone in your farm, you're invited. It's easy because you're inviting them to the event. You're being of purpose, right? Give follow up, give more follow up. You can see on page 30 or 31, I think it is there. There's a whole list of different real estate subjects and information that you can give. So is that 31?
Yes,
31.
31.
Okay. All right, get personal. You must anchor a mental association of your name and face with those touches. This is what I was talking about earlier, about the reconnection, about profiling your people, about staying connected to them, about being more specific than you just keep being more and more specific about your communications and the language and the purpose. Who they are, what they love, what they're trying to accomplish. Who they are, what they love, and what they're trying to accomplish over and over again, right? You must, let's see, the first goal of a call is to get an appointment. And if the appointment's not there, try to get a referral. If the referral's not there, just simply strengthen the relationship. Inverse. Strengthen the relationship. Then the appointment, then the referral. The relationships first. The relationship is the long-term opportunity. And here we have some scripts here, sending emails, direct mail marketing, and even handwritten notes are often not enough to get people to do business with you, but will provide you with a handy excuse for making your call. So schedule mailings before your calls, again, and so schedule mailings before your calls, of course. Again, and the benefit of making contact by mail is that you make it easier. It makes it easier for you to call and say, hey, did you receive the mailing I sent you, right? So it's always better to have, it's always desirable to have a point of leverage in that. Oh, I dropped off a letter for you a couple days ago. Did you get a chance to read it? I sent you an email a couple of days ago. Did you get a chance to read it? just checking in, seeing if they're, last time we talked about that, whatever it is, right?
What would you put in
So letter could be many things, but more specific to that person.
So you still been on the relationship side, would you say this, like, or you want to
The letters, I think, have to be more, you're not sending, it's not the 1800s, right? You're not sending a letter saying, hey, sending your guy over there with a letter saying, hey, I'd love to see you, for tea on Tuesday at 12 noon for, tea and done. So it's, the letter should be purposeful of some sort. If you're mailing out a letter to non-owner occupieds, or you're saying, hey, I have a buyer. We just sold a house in the neighborhood. You can figure Keller Williams listing. We just sold a house in the neighborhood. We got lots of great response. We sold it in in how many ever days? 27 days. We sold it in, and we got unfortunately there were 20 offers, and unfortunately there's 19 people who are disappointed that they can't move into your neighborhood. Would you be interested in? I mean, I sound like a used car salesman in my head, but it's true. You know what I mean? It's true over and over again. Stating that fact and asking, would you be open? Would you like to sell your house? But would you be open to receiving an offer on your home? Right? Go right for it. If not, that's okay. You enjoy yourself, right? I mean, there are lots of ways to come at it. You want to come at it through, purposefulness as much as possible. Do it again, delegate, make 3 calls a year, yeah. Follow up, give more follow up. Yeah. I mean, I can't say enough about the contribution part. And it does not have to be about real estate, okay?
Yeah.
And because 99% of the people you talk to don't have the need to buy or sell real estate right now. So you have to come in, how do you establish relationship outside of the need to buy or sell real estate, right? Of course, I'm gonna assist you in that, but until then, it really, what else can I help you with? Yeah, we were talking about anchoring, and that's about profile. Just put everything you know about people in there.
I love that.
That's the fun part. What's that?
It is a fun part.
Yeah. Have the Midas touch, differentiate yourself from other competitors, make a Midas touch a special part. Let's see what that means. What does that mean, the Midas touch? It's in differentiating yourself from your competition. You may find that some touches resonate more with your network than others and bring you greater return on your investment. Make these touches a special part of your standard action plan. Steve Schrader, what's he do? He wants his network to know he cares and has their best interest at heart. Every time he does a comparative market analysis, he calls his network in that area, and with a simple script lets them know he has done research on their neighborhood. He simply says, I've been doing some research on the market in your neighborhood, and the values of the houses once again prove you made a great investment. It's an easy message to read on the machine, and it creates a good opportunity for conversation on investment. If you get some, anybody ever used Slide Dial before?
No, what's that?
Oh, Slide Dial is great. Slide Dial is an app that lets your phone doesn't ring, you go right to their messages.
Oh, so you just leave a voicemail. Love that.
Slide
Is that like a,
Slide Dial,
Slide dial.
SLYDAIL.
but isn't that just like a voice note on the text? But those don't stay, I guess.
But they'd have to listen to your voicemail. There is a voicemail.
I think it rings one time.
Does it ring one time?
I think so, because the agent wasn't mentioned.
I mean, yeah, yeah, maybe it legally has to.
So why?
Yeah. He turned me on to that, and I have, and we practiced with it, I think it rings once. But,
Yeah. It's not enough for you to pick up. You missed the call.
No, that's good.
Yeah, it's almost even better that it rings once, then they know that it came in,
Yeah.
right?
No. All right.
Yeah, Steve Gardner likes to send out birthday cards to his customers' children. Rather than sending cards to adults, he prefers to contact the children, that doesn't sound right, who generally never get any kind of mail.
Well,
He puts in his stick of gum saying, I hope you have a double great day today. He does this because he reminds being in touch as a 10-year-old by the family's insurance representative, a man whose name he still remembers, who sent him a birthday card with a stick of gum every year.
I used to get like cards from like doctors and dentists, like as a kid, like happy birthday.
Yeah, I tell the story of, maybe the same dad, she grew up in LA.
Yeah, but I grew up in that.
Oh, yeah, okay, so my kids went to a dentist named Dr. Darren.
horrible that
Horrible dentist.
Darren Hurt, Dr. Hurt.
Dr. Hurt. Yeah.
I had a doctor, her name, her last name is Alchi, but
Ouchie.
Doctor.
It's a little more, it's
receptionist will call them like Uchi, but
Ouchie, it's Ouchie.
but we say Alchi.
Oh, that's really
So,
cute. But the point is that he was sending my kid birthday card every year. Both my kids send me birthday cards. Right, signed by the nurses, blah, 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 blah. That puts you in, like, it puts you in this inner circle.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's where you want to be. You want to be in the inner circle. As you go home, you gather their birthdays.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so much fun. Are you a Cancer? No. Oh, when's your birthday? What zodiac sign?
Yeah, that's.
Right, when's your birthday? Right?
Very odd.
Yeah, Trey. Trey.
Hey, let's do snack, girl.
Next is be consistent. Complete each and every action included in the 33 touch plan you are using. It cannot be random on the 8th, 1 month, then the 24th the next. You must consistently and constantly keep your name in front of them. Don't get impatient. Results don't happen overnight. Typically, the 33 touch program would result in 1 transaction for every 6 names on your list after you've been doing it for 8 months to a year. To help achieve consistency in your action plans. Put your plan on autopilot as much as possible. Yes, that's really doable, right? Set aside a specific time during your 3 hours of daily lead generation to make contact with your prospects. KISS, keep it simple, salesperson. They need to be touched, not bedazzled. So, spurts of activity, fancy refrigerator magnets sent once on a whim will not produce the consistent results you get from a steady, even if low-key marketing action plan. The jumbo postcard, not necessary, right? If you're sending postcards consistently and there's an overlay of text and you're showing up at the neighborhood association and you're door knocking and, right? You're everywhere. All right. Know your cost. All right, that's the next best thing. Here's the best thing about prospecting: low cost. Marketing, high cost. Right? How much does it cost you to network? Depending on what stage of your career you're in, you may decide to spend more or less on your budget on prospecting and marketing. Keep in mind that prospecting should always be the mainstay at any stage of your career, and it costs less too. You can always save money by putting more emphasis on prospecting, phone calls, pop buys, rather than marketing. Directions, renote the number of Mets you need to reach your sales goal determined by that. So we're saying 300 names divided by 12 times 2 equals closed sales that we get. Record your average cost for a touch. If you are not sure, use the linear real estate advantage of 50 cents per touch. Okay, and then it's simple math, right? Take the number of people you need, the names you need for the amount of closed sales you're trying to get. You times it times 50 cents per. So every 12 people in your database mark to 33 times each year equals 2 sales. 1 sale is referral, and 1 is repeat business. Restate 396 touches, 12 times 33 equals 2 sales. Right. 396 times 50, the average cost of $198 for 2 sales. Is that correct? Yeah. Divide that number by 2 for your cost per sale, $99 per sale. Yeah, there's super low cost if you're thoughtful and you're attentive, active listener. You can move the needle much greater than this mass kind of this mass touch. You know what I mean? There was an agent who told a story that really made sense to me. She works in Burlingame, which is outside of San Francisco, Palo Alto, very, very affluent. She does, I think she did 40 deals for $90 million in gross commission last year. That's about a little over $2 million per transaction average. Right?
That's true, she got 90 is a commission.
So
No, she sold 90 million.
90 million in
She sold
sales.
90.
90 million in sales is about $2.1 million in gross commission, right? She's talking about the luxury experience, right? And gifts she gives, right? And she was saying, just what I'm saying, is that she had learned over the years that just spending money on clients, especially affluent clients, was a waste. Giving a client a $500 gift certificate to Home Depot, or you know, a fancy bottle of wine was like. Yeah. She tells a story about selling this, $10 million estate. This woman was in her 80s, and her husband passed away, and it was just too much, and she was going to sell her estate and then move her into a smaller home, right? Through the course of the conversation, she learned about a lemon tree that they received when they bought their first house, and they moved it twice to this house, and now it's just too big. So she goes down and she gets a fancy pot, and she gets an arborist to take a trimming from the tree, and she gives her this stick in a bowl, right? And it was the greatest gift the woman could receive. And she could take a part of this lemon tree to her new home, right? And so
Sounds cute.
but that's really what moves the needle.
I see.
That is what moves the needle. Every culture is a little different. Korean culture, there's always a tie-in of some size, or that, in the form of an envelope with some cash, undetermined amount of cash in it that is given as a sign of respect and or whatever, closure. But listen, I would even argue that, the impact of that can be superseded by a more thoughtful, flowers out of those tents. Anyway, yes, it does, you don't need to spend a lot of money or any money. But money is a replacement for time. Spending money is a replacement for your time and your efforts and your attentiveness sometimes. I think, you know, get a little lazy, right? Modified 33 touch to work for you. Sample 1 year 33 touch plan is typical. However, this is only an example. You should customize your 33 touch to suit your needs. The point is for you to systematize as you make contact over the course of the year to solidify your mind share position and build relationships. Go for suggested modifications, including go for 33 touches, but if you fall short, set your floor 24 touches per year, minimum of 2 touches per month. Instead of sending Mother's Day and Father's Day cards, send inspirational quotes or market statistics. Every single touch you have a quick reminder and instructions on how to give you referral business. Instead of a quarterly letter, do a monthly newsletter instead. Amount to referral. Yeah. So these are just different ways of connecting with people and serving them something of consequence. Do the 33 touch. Don't cut it down to 24 touches. This is again. This was written where a lot more was done analog. Think about, I would implore you all to get as far away from yourself as an individual as possible when thinking about the 33 touch. This is not about you. This is about how you represent a business, a service, okay? People get all hung up on, I don't want to impose on people, I don't want to be annoying, I don't want. The daily text I get from Glam Floor, which is some freeze-dried flower place that my wife wanted these flowers, I got her the flowers, and now I get a text from them every day. And I haven't cut them off because I want to see what that voice sounds like, right? But every day I get it. Like I need freeze-dried flowers every day, right? That's what I need. Yeah, only the guys are laughing. That's so funny. It's true.
Must be a bad one.
And these are like, well, why would you want flowers? What else are you talking about? So, but the point is that, you know, I get emails, I get solicitations from companies every day. I don't judge them personally.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
It's just, you have to think of, when you're setting out your plan, you have to think of yourself as a business entity. You're, I had a children's shoe store. You know, it's if I was sending out discount codes and sale reminders or just like, promotional and marketing stuff, I wasn't worried about how that reflected on me personally, right? It's just, I've got to get, I got to stay connected to my opportunities in case they need it. And if they don't need it, they can just ignore it. They can just ignore it. It's okay. I'm not judging them, right?
So you want us to separate the 33 programs from us?
Yes.
So that it's marketing,
Yes.
there's a marketing
Yes.
there to help you.
I think you are yes, I think that you can be the worst enemy to that conversation.
Thank you.
Networking in the circles, let's say you will use a different mix of prospecting and marketing to achieve your action plan goals with 4 different categories of your METS database. And then that's core advocates, allied resources, and networks. I would say go even further. You got buyer in groups, you have buyers, sellers, first-time buyers, distressed, people who are ready to buy a house in the next 3 months, And then you have your hashtags, which get into more specific likes and dislikes and idiosyncratic stuff. Again, more and more and more and more and more profile is better, right? Spend time on the profile, because when you pick up that ball again, you're going to own it. You're going to own that, and you're going to know who you're in the game with. Circles are so. The next part that I really want to focus on is your inner circle, and inner circle is, it's inside of this mess is a small group of highly people with a really great opportunity. Right? The opportunity with these people are that these are your core advocates. They're the ones that know you and will use you and will and should get the most of your attention. It's called inner circle. And they're the smallest group. Smallest. You want to pour into them. Like they're the ones you want to give the most attention to. Right? They're the ones that you want to take out to lunch. They're the ones that you want to make sure you're pouring love into and helping them get whatever they want. Because they are key to you getting what you want. Right? They're the 25 folks I talked about before, right? They're the ones that you can weaponize to be your advocates out there in the universe.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
I apologize, but I'm kind of lost on what you're talking about.
But the core, that's okay. The inner circle. So inside your mess, there's a small group of people that have not only have the capacity to advocate for you, to get you business, to talk about you out there in the universe every time real estate comes in. Oh, I'm at a party, I heard somebody over there say something, say the word real estate, boom, I'm there. Right? That person, you want to give the most elevated customer service experience that you can have. Right? And that means that, you want to stay really close to them, and you want to pour into them, and you want to keep asking them how you can help them, and you want to deliver on that. And then you want to also, you want to have a business conversation, say, hey, I want to be your realtor of choice. How do I earn the right to be your referral agent? It's no choice. Like, oh, I have my brother-in-law. That's okay. Oh, I have my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my cousin, and then my neighbor, and then who I really use, which is this other guy. Okay, just want to be on the list. When I come on the list, I want to earn the opportunity. You are someone who has influence over others that people look to for advice. I look to you for advice. I want to be your guy. I want to earn it. I'm not looking for anything for nothing. I want to earn it. Okay? How can we start that journey today? So, over and over again to those 25 people. Those inner. Right? These are people who know you, care about you, have influence over other people, and or you've already helped them achieve something in some other realm, right? That's a good way to start. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They get a different plan, right? They get a different group too, right? Right?
Right.
They get
Oh, you could write like inner circle.
what's that?
I said, right,
There's our film, right? It's just another group, right? Also, allied resources are another opportunity in this. They could be part of your inner circle also. People who you know, my daughter's orthodontist. It's a big nut, right? It's a big cost. So many people who are orthodontist. And I probably, you're in that moment, you know, where your kids getting the crank put in, and then everybody, you know, is hitting that at the same time, the developmental, you know, scale, you know, daughter number one, daughter number two, not referring, you know, she must have gotten like 10 referrals from it. That's like, yeah, that's anywhere from like $15,000 to $25,000 a month, or more, right? Over time. Thank you, Joey, for all the referrals. So, hey, go through business, right? If you know anybody who needs to buy or sell a house, you send them my way too, you know? Absolutely. I love referring you because you do such a great job. And I hope you know that I would do the same for anybody you refer me to. Ask for it. Don't be afraid to ask for it. Okay? I'm telling you. It's somebody else is asking for it.
Right.
If you don't, they're not going to tell you no. They're going to say, oh, of course, yeah, sure. They might not ever do it, but the next time they receive a referral from you, it'll stick. So create a list of those people you do business with and systematically set them up. Make sure they're in your database, they're in your Mets, and they, there you go, no. Resources. Right? No, right? And you're sending special information to them. You're treating them differently. So on page, I would say it's like 40 for you, is a list how to network with the allied resources. You get, you know, this sort of my yellow pages thing, right? And where you're asked to write down these allied resources and then ask yourself the question, what can I provide that these people value? It's not about real estate. What are they trying to do, right? My orthodontist, she wanted more patients. She also wanted me to help her train her brother to be a realtor too. And I did that, right? And listen, you can, allied resources alone, you can create one of these plans just for allied resources. Okay, you can systematically build a plan for allied resources. Could be some of this, right? Could be, you invite them to dinner twice a year, postcards. I was like, what does that mean? Post just my face. No, but you can use social media. You can promote them on social media. Hey, I'm going to promote you on social media once a month. What's that sound? Right? You're looking for more to build your social media. You know what I can do? We can do cross collateralized social media campaign. Let's do that. So come and visit you once a month. We talk about your business. I'll throw my arm around you and we'll throw it up there. All right, man, done. So yeah, all right. And a plan for your advocates too, right? So you definitely have to have a plan for your advocates. Right. That in addition to this, they're on this, they get all this and what? They get lunch, dinner, 2 times a year. They get anniversary card. They get a holiday gift. Homemade cookies. See, that just gets elevated and elevated, elevated and elevated. I don't want to promote this, this activity, and I'll move forward, but Moses and I talk. He knows that I likes, I like Korean food. So he brings me, he's at the supermarket and he finds this instant, spicy beef noodle soup. That I like, right? And he brings me a package of it, right? And so how does that, how do you think Moses shows up in my head now?
Very good.
You know what I'm saying?
Wonderful.
The sweet guy.
Okay, so we need,
Love
we need somebody to sit in open house, this week, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Moses brought me soup.
There you go, right? I'm just saying, that's just the way, the dog's brain works. You know what I mean? You give the dog a bone and the dog, it's just.
Having my
Human-
food
it's
is the
human
best.
beings. I'm not promoting that you bring me food or anything, just saying, it was just a most recent example of how human nature works, right? So the more you can do for your advocate, the advocates are a place where you want to spend money, time, right? Because they give you the best result. They give you the highest rate of result. Return on investment, ROI. Whether it's money or time, energy, resources, okay? There's a lot of this, but yeah. 33 touch, core advocates.
So I met with them last month, advocate's name, so we should try and meet with our advocates once a month.
You should at least meet with them once a month.
At least.
We meet with them once a month?
As much as possible.
Yes,
Okay.
as much as possible. Once a month is a lot, but if you enjoy them and they enjoy you and you have a purpose for those
Oh,
meetings.
once a month.
It's like, hey, it's like, hey, we both love, we both love hiking.
Yeah.
I advocate for. We both love hiking. Let's set a plan to hike once a month, on the third Saturday of every month. You and me, 8 o'clock, Runyon Canyon, I'll be there. Let's go. Right? This is the fun stuff, guys. Referrals to your network, okay? That is on 50, you know what, I need a glass of water. Come on, Phil.
Want me to go?
49.
Oh, I got that.
49. Hey.
Well, my brain's a little more organized than usual.
Yeah.
It's like it makes sort of sense. All right, only to know, the average homeowner owns their home for 6 years. Roughly translated, that means for every 6 people you know, 1 will be selling their home in a given year. Imagine that your net worth of 216 people divided by 6 equals 36 deals a year. Now, for argument's sake, imagine that each one of them only knows 6 people. This means that each person they know will be selling a house in a year, and you see how that math starts to get more and more complex. Of course, people in your network know more than 6 people each, and even if you were only able to get a percentage of their business, this business, you can imagine the benefits of working your database with referrals. Keep this in mind, according to 2006 National Association of Realtors profile of home buyers and sellers, 43% of people choose their agent based on a referral from a friend, neighbor, or relative. Get people working for you, working for referrals. Top agents consistently receive one or receive half or more of their business through referrals. The reason for this is that anytime they speak with, email, write a note, or send a marketing piece to someone in their database, they ask for a referral. Their strategy is simple: educate, ask, reward. Educate, ask, reward. I want to be famous as a real estate agent in my town. When I first started, I worked really hard to get listings. Soon I started getting referrals from people I knew. Then I started getting referrals from people I didn't know. Then I knew that's when I knew I was famous. It's pretty funny, but true, right? So educate, right? Remember, educate, ask, referral. How many people do you know who, even if they know you are an agent, could readily communicate to a prospective referral the benefits of using you as a real estate agent? Well, you know the value of referrals. Do your prospects, customers, and past customers really understand? Not everyone you know knows how you do your business. Yeah, I mean, it's our job to educate the people, starting with your advocates and everybody you work with. I may have told the story. There's this, some of the older guys might remember Frank Perdue from the East Coast. Frank Perdue was this chicken manufacturer on the East Coast, and Perdue chickens, and he looked like a chicken. Right? And so the only reason I bring him up, there's this guy on stage at one of our family reunions, and he looked just like Frank Perdue. And he's in a market with 400,000 people, and he's doing 400 deals. Now, there's people outside that market, in the peripheral towns and cities that he's doing deals with, but he's doing 400 deals in 400,000 people city, right? Where he is, right? And so, you ask yourself, the guy, and I'm really not trying to take anything from the guy away from the guy. I'm saying the guy wasn't really special in any way, shape, or form. But he had a plan, and he had an expectation. He had a system, and the system was that he expected a referral from every listing he took. One piece of business for every business closed. One piece of business for every business closed. And he would start that conversation right after they signed the listing agreement. By the end of this transaction, I want to do such a great job for you that you are going to give me a referral like that. And again, and again, and again. 400 deals. So it's like, what would you take? What's that one? $100,000 or a penny every day for
Sure.
a penny.
Yeah.
You get two pennies, you get that is the trick, right? But yeah, getting referral and asking for it, and he's not asking for it as much as he's
Basically telling them you're gonna give me.
telling them.
I'm gonna do so good that you're gonna give me 17 referrals.
So one, educate. Educate them on the value you place on referrals. And two, explain what to do if they have a referral for you.
Do you want one?
I don't call them.
Thank you.
Oh, here, take one of these two ginger chews.
Oh.
They're
I
amazing.
like those too. Okay. Oh, I got it. Somebody else read that.
Person on the phone.
Yeah.
Each time you speak with someone in your database, you should be educating them. In other words, you should reinforce the notion that you are in business of real estate sales. What the benefits of buying and selling real estate for you are, that you have knowledge to share and that you prefer to do business on a regular basis. An example of this might be, hey, this is what you're saying. I help people buy and sell homes. Since I work mostly with referrals, I make it my goal to exceed my clients' expectations, and getting my business through referrals allows me to better concentrate on the needs of my clients instead of spending all my time on marketing for leads. Love that. Use this script during your buyer presentation or consultation, your listing presentation/consultation. I get most of my business from referrals from satisfied customers like you. If you know of anyone who's thinking of buying or selling, please call me with their name and I'll help them right away and let you know what's happening. Writing. Get into the habit of ending your letters and emails with, if you happen to know of someone who's thinking of buying or selling a home, please don't hesitate to call me. I promise I will follow up with them and provide the kind of service that makes you proud to have referrals to me. Also think real. The symbol and slogan, you often see on dairy products, say Intel inside. The symbol and slogan you see on most computers. In every ad you place and document you send, such as thank you notes and newsletters to prospects, allied resources and clients, include a small eye-catching referral graphic. 2.
So, just, it's about, it's about creating that imprint in their brains that you want to, that you work through referrals, number one. And number 2, that this is the way, these are the tools I'm giving you to get them working, right? Yeah. So, I mean, however that works with your brain, I would just work it into the conversation in an authentic way.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to be a salesman. You have to be a business person. The other thing is, I definitely want you to do the exercises on the following pages, but I'm going to fast forward before I wrap it up to maybe 57 or 56. It's how to reward people. And the truth is, reward is treat referrals well, but treat your referral sources even better.
57.
So you want to reward I know I said this a couple days ago, you want to reward the action you want people to take. Okay, so as soon as you receive a referral or someone says that they've given you a referral, even if they said they've given you and nobody calls you, you send them a thank you note. Send them a thank you note and they.
Scooby snack.
The Scooby snack.
You love Scooby snack.
Right? Scooby snack. It's Scooby Doo. It's a Scooby Doo reference. And Scooby snack. You would elevate into the sky. But it doesn't take much. It could be just a handwritten note telling someone how grateful they am that you are for the referral. It could be the handwritten note and a $5 Starbucks card. Right? It doesn't take much to move the needle. It's just about like good boy, right? Over and over again. But do the referral when you get the referral, or when they tell you they sent you a referral, even do it. Even if the referral doesn't come through, it doesn't matter. You want them to always be foraging for you. A referral will come through. And then on page.
So if I got like referrals from people I spoke to.
Ask one more time. I'm sorry.
If I spoke like in the last couple of weeks, I've been calling my sphere and they gave me the numbers.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Yeah, this is when one of them tells a friend, oh, you know what? Or here's my friend's information. You should reach out to that.
Got it.
That's what referral is. And there's a list of how to reward a referral. HUD 1 statement, that's sexy.
I think the ones on the other side.
Yeah. Fun things most people value. Practical things most people value.
I thought you were
Right,
gonna
yeah.
do the plan.
If you come over and if you would come over yesterday and pumped the water off my pool cover, that would be.
All right.
Value. I go out there and do it myself. I actually love it. I love it. My 15-year-old boy, so wants their is something apocalypse. So all I have to do is take care of my family and, put a roof over their heads of some sort. I batten down, I have was tying stuff down in case it blew away yesterday, all kinds
Oh,
of
you
stuff.
just probably have it last.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, ahas, questions. What you got?
So I did a 1 hour with Ethan, so if people haven't done that, I recommend it, for command. Because everything, I input a few hundred people in there. And there were things I knew I was missing, and it was right in front of my face, but he pointed it out, and I was like, oh, that would make things easier for me to.
It's another language you have, right? It's a language of thinking. It's not, I think it's pretty simple once you know it. And I'm still learning myself, but you start with getting the people in, and then getting the people, communicating to the people. So I think, what Andrew was saying is that he had an hour, sit down with Ethan, we walked him through command
And then there's an next step.
and
Yeah, once I showed him that I put in 25 more for my
he will
phone.
get you on the smart cards.
Exactly.
All right, great, excellent. Who else? Anybody else?
Putting a little referral blurb in my email signature. Because that's just another way of like,
Who else do you know might like?
right, hi.
Make it authentic, make it fun. I was thinking about, like absurd things to,
Yeah.
trying card,
That was funny.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna be.
If you like this, share whatever. I don't know, you like to make it catchy, kind of, instead of just saying.
I'm saying, I get most of my business from referrals, that's the least amount, I'm just gonna read that. I get most of my business from referrals from Sacavitch customers like you, if you know anyone thinking about it.
Yeah, that's most people. Now, how do you say that in a soundbite?
Who else do you know? Who needs me? I get most of my business from referrals.
I love to be needed.
All of this.
You don't need me enough. Don't you know that needs me?
You should have a voice recorder of that.
You have to get people to, you have to disrupt the moment. Just look at me for a second, you know what I mean? Noted, move on, right? What else you learned today? Anything, today that, made you decide you don't want to be in real estate ever?
It just showed me how much work I do. What I can do.
They definitely don't
I
teach
like
this.
It's a job.
They don't teach this, courses.
No.
That's like law.
This is
No.
reality, man.
Yeah, this is the reality. And
Nobody's asked me what are the square footage of an acre, so.
This is the fun part, the education part.
40,000, 40,000,
It's like
45,000.
42, some 40, yeah, but
I think it's 42,000.
you're probably closer to
You're
your.
closer.
Yeah, I'm like,
What were you saying?
I forgot.
Don't worry.
You said
Any
the
other,
education was one part.
Any other house or questions I can help you with? All right, I'll leave this up there.
Thank you.
All right.
Working my boss.